Hi, gang. It's Joe Ayers here, the old prof, coming at you with another installment of questions, writing questions and answers. Before we get to that, we'll send you this stuff again. It's the website there, joeayrescares.com. Go to the novels tab. If you want to see what novels I've written, go to the About Me, scroll to the Vita section, check out what I've written from an academic standpoint there. Um, Well, today's question is one I think came out of some others that we've had. People want to know, how can you just get up and write at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever it is, that specific time? How do you manage to do this kind of thing? So it's basically a question of how do you discipline yourself to write? More broadly, is how do you discipline yourself to do anything? I was not always a person that would get up at 5 o'clock and start writing. I definitely wouldn't write at all. I tried to avoid writing as much as possible. In fact, I tried to avoid schoolwork as much as possible. I got through. Got me how I got through. But I found out that once I got to graduate school, I actually had to uh, do stuff instead of going with the guys down and playing a pinball machine or whatever. I really needed to get the article written and be ready to talk about it in class instead of just going to class and bull con. They expected you to actually know something. I'm wearing the old University of Montana hat because this is where I came up with this system. And it's one that I pass along to a variety of students over the years. And it's one that worked for me. I don't know if it'll work for you or not, but it goes back to behaviorism, reward costs, and all of that, those things, rewards and punishments. And basically, what that tells you is that people will seek out rewards and avoid punishment. And what that meant for me was I'd go play pinball rather than read the article, because the article was a punishment and playing pinball was a reward, or darts or whatever it happened to be, pool. I love playing pool. Um, so I had to figure out a way to discipline myself to read the article. I had to reward myself for reading the article. So what I did is I found a very secluded place in a library. And I said to myself, okay, Ayers, when you're doing something well and when you're not, and you can't fool yourself because it's you. And what you're going to do is you're going to read the article or write the paper or whatever it happens to be is the goal for that day. You're going to sit here in this spot in the library for 2 hours and do that. You're going to read the article. However, if you finish the article before the 2 hours is up, you're off. You can go and do whatever you want, play pool or whatever it is you want to do. Um, and wow, if I didn't finish, I sat there bored out of my skull for 2 hours because I couldn't have anything to mess around with. You didn't have cell phones in those days or anything. But you could have, a little comic to read or, something to mess around with, paper and pencil, and you could draw, or who knows what you could do. But what I did was I only had the article and myself and that blank wall in front of me. And if I read the article and I processed it and did it carefully and did it correctly, then if I did it in 5 minutes, I had an hour and 55 minutes to myself. If it took me an hour and 45 minutes, that's what it took. I had 15 minutes. But if I didn't do it, I sat there for 2 hours, bored out of my skull. I just forced myself to do that. I punished myself for not doing it and rewarded myself for doing it. And it's amazing how efficient I got after that. Pretty soon I didn't have to worry about the punishment at all, as long as I set a decent goal for myself, one that I could accomplish, like reading an article, writing 5 pages on a paper or whatever. Um, it worked very, very well for me. So basically what you got to do is figure out how you can reward yourself for getting things done and punish yourself for not getting things done. You have to do it yourself for yourself. Having other people force you to do it doesn't work nearly as well. So anyway, there's how you have it. That's how I disciplined myself to do all kinds of things. And eventually it got to the point that If I get it done, I'm done. I never set things that are massive, where I waited until the end of the term to grade all of the speeches that I'd heard that term, that sort of thing. Didn't do that at all. I always graded things as soon as they came in. So that's it. That's what you have for me on how you discipline yourself to write. Oh, by the way, don't forget to subscribe and comment and all that jazz.